Alrighty guys, welcome back to Star Wars Review. Today I am reviewing the High Republic Issue 15, Jedi's End, Chapter 5, The Fall, which was written by Cam Scott, with art by Ario Anadito, and was released on March 2nd, 2022, which it's the final issue of the Phase 1 Marvel High Republic comic series. And I thought it was a good issue. You know, I kind of do wish there was a little more to it. Just wish it kind of wrap more stuff up. Now obviously, you know, the story isn't over yet. You know, this is just the Phase 1 series. Phase 2 is going back in time. So the Marvel series won't follow the same characters. The Phase 2 Marvel series will be written by Cam Scott with art by Ario Anadito also, but I would assume the Phase 3 Marvel series will continue the story of these characters and whatnot. So, you know, it does make sense to that, you know, the stories aren't over yet. But, you know, I one thing I do just wish we got more of was the destruction of Starlight Beacon. Because in the novel, The Fallen Star, you know, that's really the big story about its destruction. But we you know, seeing that novel and also the series and whatnot, the station splits into two. And in the novel, we only get the story from the bottom half of the station, where, you know, this series was showing what happens on the top half. And, you know, it just, you know, doesn't give the big picture, I guess. It's just really more just about the characters and whatnot, you know, of this series. So I do wish we just kind of got to see more of that. Also, you know, we really don't get much of the Nameless or the Shrii-ka-rai Years of the Force, whatever you want to call them, in this issue. But, you know, obviously we're just introduced, and, you know, I do think Phase 2 and Phase 3 will kind of dive into them a lot more. But even though I do wish there was more, you know, with the destruction of Starlight Beacon, I still really liked what, you know, goes on with the characters. Definitely the, you know, later half of the issue I really loved. So, yeah, but, you know, the issue does pick up right where the last one ended off, with the Jedi getting affected by the Nameless. You see Keeve's point of view and whatnot, and the hallucinations she's seeing, but eventually she snaps out of it, thanks to Skier, who isn't affected by the Nameless, because he's cut himself off with the Force, and the Nameless, like, eat on the Force, and therefore Force users. But if you're a Force user and you cut yourself off, you know, you're not actively using the Force, so they don't eat off of you. But I guess Skier had you know, scared them off. But Skier then helps Keeve up, which we see that Avar has also survived. But the one Jedi, Nuran, which she has a much longer name, also, but which I'm not gonna say, but she didn't survive. Then we see that she's been petrified. But Avar says that they need to get to the hub to find a Solomaro and whatnot. But Skier then says he'll stay behind to hold off the Nameless creatures, which upsets Keeve at first. But Skier convinces her that, you know, it's, you know, the only way. And Skier says that, you know, they'll see each other again. But, you know, then Keeve and Avar then head off towards the hub. Wow. Skier gets ready for a fight, which that's the last we see of him. But we do see back on the Ataraxia, where the Jedi Gino'le Manchi has taken some civilians and workers and whatnot who are aboard Starlight Beacon, you know, to the ship. And he kind of he calls the Jedi Archivist Orbelin up to kind of tell him to disembark from the station, which Orbelin does that. But you know, they're distraught over what's happening to the station. So, you know, they attempt to like kind of put the tractor beam on to kind of help the station out, which it doesn't work. But you know, you see Gino'le and the civilians kind of get confronted by some of the Nile who have broken free, and so he's calling up Orbelin for assistance. But we see Lorna D, who's now free, also shoot and seemingly kill Orbelin, while we hear Gino'le seemingly maybe getting overrun by the Nile, calling, you know, Orbelin for help, which Lorna then takes control of the Ataraxia and flies away. But we see Avar and Kiev get close to the hub, wondering how it's still intact, which, once they get there, they find that Astalamaru is holding it together with the Force. He's in the air and whatnot, holding it while it's all on fire around him. I really like the art in this scene. But he tells them to take the last escape pod as everyone else has escaped, which Avar instead wants to help him. But Kiev then also finds out that not everyone is safe, as Tarek and Sarah are still aboard the station in the medical center. So she goes to help them out, while Avar starts to spread her song and whatnot, which we see Kiev while she's heading to the medical center feeling all the Jedi and whatnot still alive aboard the station, which we see all the characters from the Fallen Star, but also Torben Buck and Vernestra Rowe, which we haven't seen any story of Vernestra Rowe aboard Starlight during the destruction, but so that's interesting. But we see Kiev get to the medical center where she tries to find a way to carry them, but a hole in the wall kind of breaks open and starts to suck her out into the atmosphere and space and whatnot, which she tries to hold on, but she starts to fall. But before she can get sucked out, Tarek and Sarah get up and use the Force to save her, which it seems like Avar sending her song out has awoken them. But they get to escape pod and escape the station, which we see Astalo then tell Avar to kind of leave the station, which Avar tries to get him to go instead, but Astalo says that Avar, has always been their shining light, so she must survive. So he tells the droid Casey to push her into the pod, which the droid does that, and so we kind of see Avar watching Astala as the pod shoots out, and he's, starting to kind of burn a little bit in pain and whatnot, which is a very, shocking, kind of very sad moment. But eventually the station, or at least top out, the station crashes on the planet of Irem, and Avar's pod does too. She gets out of the pod as Kiev comes up to her, which, we see Avar upset over the station, but, I guess also Astala's death and whatnot, because, what he had told her right before he made her leave the station, just kind of, her being this beacon of light, which, she's upset over that because, in the 13th issue, we see her, let the darkness control her while finding the Nile. So, I really like that moment, but the issue ends with Kiev kind of embracing Avar as we get some inner dialogue from her, saying that she needs to step up and be stronger to fight these nameless creatures, not just for the Jedi, but for the people they're, supposed to protect. So yeah, I end up enjoying this issue. Like I said, I do wish we got more about Starlight Begins Destruction. Do wish it kind of maybe wrapped up a little more stuff, but I really loved everything what happens after, once Avar and Kiev get to the hub and whatnot. I loved every moment, what happens after that, which I really loved the stuff with, Astala, going into the issue. I knew he was going to die because it said so in the Fallen Star, but it was still very, impactful, because, what he tells Avar, and whatnot, and also the art was, definitely, very, shocking, so, I really love that scene. Definitely also for Avar and how, he, Astala doesn't know, what she did in no space, but she does, and, might not believe, what Astala was telling him. But, also, there's the scene of the, twins, saving Kiev I really liked, and, just, Kiev's final thoughts also I enjoyed. I do wish we got more of Skier, which, if it's the, truly the end of him, I still liked his ending, because, even though he has this condition which makes him go to the, to his, root, darker instincts of, Trandoshan, he still ends up, choosing to go out helping others in, the way of the light side and whatnot. If it's truly the end of him, I still really enjoyed that ending, but I do want more of him because I really loved him in this series. So yeah, but the issue, I still thought it was a very good issue. Going into it, I did kind of expect something bigger, I guess, showing more of what happened to Starlight Beacon's top half. And it just ended up not being that and being more about the characters of the series, which makes sense. And I ended up enjoying that a lot. So even though I was wanting more bigger picture stuff, I still really enjoyed, the stuff that happens with the characters and whatnot. But, it would have been nice to have maybe one more issue for this series. But, yeah. And, it obviously doesn't really wrap up these characters' stories either. Even though this is the final issue of the series, it is more like a season finale, I guess. Because, like I said earlier, I assume the Phase 3 Marvel series will pick up back with these characters. So, there is that. But, I don't know. I still really enjoyed the issue. The art was great from Anadito. And, I love these characters a lot. So, yeah. But my grade, I'm going to give it an A-. So, yeah. Anyways, that's going to be it for this one. My next High Republic review will be the Eye of the Storm, issue 2, which is the final Phase 1 story. So, check that out then. But, in the meantime, go check out all my other High Republic reviews and everything else I do. I've been sorry, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.